In the Warsh recitation, you have a rule called Leen Mahmuz. Warsh is the way that they recite the Quran in Morocco and Algeria. That's the most common way that they recite it. And it's a little bit different. The Tajweed rules are a little bit different than in the Hafs recitation, which is the most common one. And one of the rules that they have is Leen Mahmuz. And what that means is Leen Mahmuz. Leen is when you have a ya sakina or waw sakina. Before it, there's a letter with a fatah. And you can remember that in Surah Al-Quraysh, all the ayahs in Surah Al-Quraysh, they end with Leen. So ila fi Quraysh, Quraysh. So you have ya sakina and fatah, ra and ya, ray, and then sheen, reish. So that's the Leen there. And then the last ayah, sof. You have the waw sakina with a fatah before it. That's the Leen. So in Warsh, what happens is if there's a Hamza after the Leen, then you make it longer. Similar to in the Hafs, and also in the Warsh also, if you have a mud letter and then followed by a Hamza, you make it longer, 4 or 5 harakat. And similar to that in the Warsh, you make the Leen al-Mahmuz, where there's a Hamza after a Leen, you make it 6 harakat. Like for example, shay, you can make it 4 or 6. Shay or shay, 4 or 6, that's allowed in the Leen al-Mahmuz with the Hamza after it. And the other example, shay'a, you can do 4 or you can do 6, shay'a. And then the third one, let's say asu, 4, or you can do asu, 6. Okay, and the last example, you can say hey 4 or hey or 6. So again, the tawassut, well, tool, tawassut means 4 or tool, 6 fakat. When you have the normally speaking on the Leen al-Mahmuz, that's what you have. So that's the normal rule for the Leen al-Mahmuz. And a person, if they're starting out, they just should go about that. There's a lot more exceptions and things like that. The next thing is what happened, yastathna kalimatan al-maw'ila wal-maw'udatu. So you have istithna, you have an exception for 2 words, al-maw'ila wal-maw'udatu. Normally speaking, this would be 4 or 6, because it's the Leen al-Mahmuz followed by a Hamza. But over here, it's only, you can only do a 2 harakat because that's an exception. فَفِيهِمَا al-qasr fakat. فَفِيهِمَا al-qasr fakat. So in these 2 words, you only have the shortening. And again, those 2 words are al-maw'ila and al-maw'udatu. You don't make them longer, you just keep it the regular length of the Leen. That's the rule in the Warsh and Nafia. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Okay, now what happens is you have an ayah with the Leen al-Mahmuz and the mad badal in it. Like for example, this ayah, like this over here. فَآتُوهُمْ نَصِيبَهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدًا. So over here in the beginning, you have fa'atuhum, you have the mad badal, you have a Hamza followed by alif, so that's mad badal. And then over here, shay'in, you have the Leen al-Mahmuz. So in this case, what happens is, there are 4 ways that you can do it. The 3 of the badal and the tawassul mahmuz. So what happens is, if you say the shay in 4 harakat, then you could do 2, 4, or 6 for fa'atuhum. Do 2 or 4 or 6 for that. So those are the 3 ways. So again, that's shay. You could do that with the 4 harakat with the shay, and then it would be 2, 4, or 6 into badal. So that's the 3 ways. And the last way, you could do 6 and 6. Do 6 and 6. You could do arba'atuhum, 6. Then over here, you could do 6. So shay'an. Okay, this gets a little bit complicated, but anyway, this is what they have written in the poem, in the rules for the qirat. So that's the rule for the words when you have a mad badal and the leen in the same ayah, in the same verse. Okay, then you have the words so'atihima and so'atikum. So'atikum. And if you notice on these words, so'atihima and so'atihima, if you notice that in the word, you have over here, you bear with me over here. I have to read this backwards. That's how it comes out here to do the recording. So that's why I'm trying to follow along with this. Okay. Okay, so we go kalimata, so'atihima, and the kalima, so'atikum. So what happens in these two words? You have a so, you have a leen, the Hamza after it, you have the Leen Mahmuz there, and then immediately after that, you have the mad badal. So'atikum, or so'atihima, and then you have so'atikum. So you have the leen over here, then the Hamza, then you have the rule Leen Mahmuz, and then you have the mad badal, and same thing over here. So the rules for that, you have arba wujuh. So fihima arba'atu wujuh. There's 4 ways that you can do it. The first one, you say algha al-mahmuz ma thalatha badal. So what you do is you can make it long in the mahmuz. You say so, and then the you could do 2, 4, or 6, which is a normal rule for mad badal. So you can say so atihima, or so atihima, or you could do so atihima. Those are 3 ways you could do it. And then the final way you could do it, you could do tawassut and tawassut. You could do 4 and 4. So you can say so atihima. Okay, so these are the rules that it's mentioned for the Warsh of the Leen Mahmuz, the advanced rules for it. But if you don't remember them all, just remember the basic rule that what happens is when you have a Hamza after a leen, Hamza that comes after the leen, the ya sakina before the fatha, or waw sakina before the fatha, then you make it 4 6 harakat. And those exceptions, they're just a few ayahs in the Quran for the Riyat al-Warsh. But people that want to know the rules, these are the advanced rules for the Leen Mahmuz. And Allah knows best, and may peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.